Hi, welcome everyone. So I'm Shri. I'm one of the graduate students, and I'm here to talk to you about COVID-19, immunity and gut health, and how everything is related to food, and how can you actually improve your, immunity and gut health to fight the virus. So today we're going to discuss about the strategies to eat healthy during this time and how to boost your immunity and what are probiotics and prebiotics and what is fiber and how is it connected, how everything is interconnected. And we're just going to see about a recipe which is immune shot. So, impact of COVID-19 on health and training. So we all of us know that the virus started from December 2019 and it kind of became severe after that. So these are some, but not all of the effects. And so some of the effects on athletes, this can also be on general population, but especially on athletes, it's like absence of organized training and competition, lack of communication within the team, which is like very important, and the inability to move freely and inappropriate training conditions. Like we are used to training in a certain place and certain time, but it doesn't happen anymore. And the lack of adequate sunlight exposure. So this leads to like deficiency in vitamin D and eating more than requirement or recommendation. So because like we're all home and we're actually cooking healthy food, but we actually start to eat more. And changes in meal time, sleep and work pattern, and increased consumption of alcohol. So this might not be the case for everyone. Say, for example, eating more, it is not necessarily a case for everyone, but few people might experience few of this, maybe nothing at all or all of this. So, so that was a Fitbit data that actually indicated a substantial reduction in number of steps per day during March 2020. So we are talking about the very beginning time of the virus. Even at that time, Fitbit actually found that the number of steps was reduced compared to March 2019 in March 2020. So this indicates, this is a small illustration of how everything is actually affected during COVID-19. Like it's all interconnected. Say, for example, the energy intake and the weight gain, and this is connected to the boredom eating and the physical inactivity, the disturbed sleep. So it is all interconnected in some way or other. So, how eating healthy can help overcome these effects and support positive effects? So, these are some of the short-term and long-term consequences, which is increased body fat, decreased muscle mass, impaired immunity, and lack of sleep. So, these are some consequences that we're actually seeing due to food in COVID-19. And a few positive impacts during quarantine can be recovery from injuries, recovery from overeating and overtraining and overload. And a focus of the diet right now should be to maintain the energy balance, to prevent weight gain, especially fat gain, and maintain muscle mass, develop immunity, and help in recovery. So a meal that you take, or in a day, the different meals that you eat should actually help you do all this. Like, they should help in such a way that you don't gain weight, or you maintain your muscle mass and you develop your immunity. So what are some of the strategies that you can actually follow to, eat healthy? So it is better if you scale back on carbohydrates and fat, because for few of us, the training or the workout is reduced. So scaling back on carbs and fat can actually prevent from weight gain, and try and consume normal levels of protein to maintain your muscle mass, and choose a healthy snack that has a combination of carbohydrates and protein, and reduce eating processed food. We know that grocery shopping and everything has actually reduced due to the social distancing and the timing of the grocery stores. So that doesn't mean that you have to always purchase processed food. You can choose snack that is actually natural and healthy. And store your pantry with frozen vegetables and for produce. So this is especially only for emergency purposes. Like, we always encourage you to use fresh produce, but in few cases where you can't actually go out on a regular basis, you can have your pantry with frozen vegetables and fruits. Do not skip the three major meal pattern, because the three major meals, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is highly essential to keep your normal metabolism. And plan for grocery shopping ahead so that you have a schedule, you have a plan of what to buy and what not to buy. So when you go to grocery store, you don't just pick random things, or lean towards processed food. And practice label reading and to know your options better. So when you actually start reading the label, you'll actually know, like, this has so much of sugar, this has so much of sodium. So you'll have the urge, you'll not have the urge to buy things. And then practice meal prepping at least 2 times a week. This is a great time to actually meal prep. We recommend at least 2 times, like Sunday and Wednesday, so that you don't have to, you'll know what you have to cook and everything. And explore simple and easy recipes. This is the best time to actually start going into the kitchen and improve some of your skills, or actually get interested in a lot of recipes. Include wide variety of colored foods in your meal for additional antioxidants. So we'll talk about antioxidants more in the upcoming slides, but you can always challenge yourself to include more colorful food. So this is a basic idea of like a healthy pantry. So you can actually go to the link that's there, and you can download this pantry and just stick it in your kitchen somewhere, or you can also stick it in the fridge, so that you can always keep a check of what is available and what else you have to buy when you make your grocery list. So these are some resources from our SWELL team, which is Sustainability, Wellness, and Learning. We are one of the committee in UCCS that is where we highly encourage sustainable eating, and we do a lot of things. For example, we do the farm subscription program, and these are some of the resources. You can subscribe to us on Instagram, follow our website, our YouTube channel to actually know a lot of recipes. And we also encourage food literacy. So we teach you about not only how to eat healthy, but then where the food comes, and anything that's related to food. So what is immune health? So basically, we all know immunity is very important, very crucial right now. And for few of us, the immunity might be low, and it depends on various factors. But then over the years, athletes are at a risk of upper respiratory infections and gastrointestinal disorders during intense training. They are more susceptible to this after an intensive training. So lack of nutrient-dense food, biodiversity, and sunlight exposure can be another reason. Especially for indoor athletes, sunlight exposure can be a major reason. Reduction in calories below the recommended range might lead to reduced consumption of nutrients. So when you're actually on a weight loss regimen, obviously the calories that you take would be reduced. But then simultaneously, the nutrients that you consume is also reduced. So that way you're not getting enough nutrients. And increased training load can increase the reactive oxygen species in the body. So the reactive oxygen species is nothing but, these are chemicals that is formed in your body, and they kind of start and affect the good cells in your body. So this reactive oxygen species occurs like even when you are sitting, standing, sleeping, even in regular activities. But then it's more when you train more. And then acute and chronic injuries can also lead to immune-related disorders over time. So these are the ways in which your immunity can be affected, but not always the case. So what do you have to do to improve this immunity? So these are the nutrients that's actually involved in your immune health. iron, zinc, and magnesium are involved in DNA metabolism. So there are the immunity is actually in two categories: one that you acquire during your lifetime, another one is inborn. So you already have this when you were born. So these nutrients, which is iron, zinc, and magnesium, help in building the inborn immunity. And then antioxidant vitamins include A, C, D, and E. And prebiotics and probiotics are important in maintaining gut health, which in turn boosts the immunity. So the antioxidant vitamins, remember I spoke about the reactive oxygen species. So these antioxidant vitamins actually help fight the compounds that are formed in the body. So these are some of the sources of the antioxidant vitamin and minerals that you can, these are some of the food sources that you can include in your daily meal. So you can actually challenge yourself to take at least 5 colored vegetables or fruits in a day, and seafood twice a week. Like seafood, when you see the table, you can see seafood in at least every other, vitamin and mineral combination. So it is always good to include seafood in your diet. So what is the role of probiotics and prebiotics in this? First, what is probiotics? So probiotics and prebiotics play a major role in keeping the gut healthy and provide immunity by modifying the microbiota, which is in your gut. They work hand in hand. Probiotics are microorganisms present in the gut. Their function is to break the complex substances, boost immune health, and prevent the growth of pathogens in the gut. The dose, type, and the duration of the probiotic is important to consider. Prebiotics are nothing but food for probiotics, like food for the microorganisms that is present in your gut. So these are some of the sources of probiotics, and most of the fermented food is actually a probiotic source. So as you see in the picture, like we have yogurt, we have sourdough bread, and we have pickles. So you can actually try making and try including at least one probiotic source in your diet in a day. And prebiotic sources. So most prebiotic foods are fiber, but not all fibers are prebiotics. Mostly the partially digested ones. They're also called microbiota accessible fiber, carbohydrates. So these are the these fibers are the food for probiotic. Say just including garlic and onion in your daily meal will actually help maintaining your gut health. But you can also try and include like all the other sources that's mentioned here to improve the function of the probiotics. So next, in relation to gut health, we have fiber. So fiber is a form of complex carbohydrate. The recommended fiber for individuals is 14 grams per 1,000 kilocalories, or 28 to 35 grams, which is 28 for women and 35 for men. But then only half of the recommendation is actually met. So consumption of dietary fiber is linked to less microbiota diversity, which is the microbiota in your gut. So the diversity of the microbiota is majorly affected by fiber, and a reduction in risk of CVD, diabetes, and several respiratory disorders. Fiber increases the satiety, and this is beneficial for weight loss. So apart from actually improving the microbiota in your gut, it also helps in satiety. So you don't, if you take a good amount, say if you take a bowl of oatmeal and compared to a bowl of cereal, so the oatmeal will actually keep you satiated for a longer time compared to the cereal because it's in a complex form of carbohydrate. Minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and iron are absorbed better with an increase in fermentable fibers. So how is the microbiota and the fiber and exercise linked? So some fibers are called microbiota accessible carbohydrates. If enough fiber is not consumed, it may lead to loss of microbiota. So the diversity of the microbiota might be lost. And dietary practices such as keto diet for weight loss and increased intake of protein supplements disrupts the microbiome on an extended period due to very less or lack of carbohydrate. So we know that the keto diet is in a trend now, but then the keto diet has more fat compared to carbo. To put it in a better way, the carbohydrate or the fiber that is in the keto diet is very less. Like the recommendation is only 20 to 50 grams, which is actually not sufficient for your gut to, to produce the microorganisms that's necessary. And when you also take a lot of protein supplements, this also disrupts the microbiome and the immunity from the microbiome. So basically, the microorganisms provide energy to the gut to perform several functions. So as you see in the diagram below, you see that the gut has different mechanisms such as short chain fatty acid availability, antioxidant enzyme activity, immune system, gastrointestinal permeability, glycogen storage, lactate metabolism, carbohydrate protein fermentation, mitochondria crosstalk, and gut-brain axis. So though all of the terms might not be familiar to you, do you see some of this is actually related to performance, which like say the lactate metabolism is highly related to performance, like the recovery. So when you keep your gut healthy, when the microbiota is healthy, these mechanisms happen, and this helps in improving your performance. So where do I get the fiber is all of our question. So when you take the pantry, you see the first three columns, which is the whole grains, the produce, and the nuts and dry fruits. These are the major sources of fiber. So you can, as I said earlier, you can always try including at least 2 or 3 of these in your diet so that the amount of fiber that you consume in a day is increased. So here we are at the recipe, which is the immune shot. So as you can see, the recipe contains orange, lemon, both of which are high in vitamin C, and cayenne pepper, garlic, ginger, rosemary, and honey. So the spices here have anti-inflammatory properties. So this is a very good combination that can actually improve your immune health. You can take like 1 cup of this every day. So how do you make this is, as the method says, you have to squeeze the orange into a blender. If you don't have a blender, choose a food processor, and then grate ginger, garlic, and add to the, the orange and orange juice. And it can also be orange and lemon juice. Then add cayenne pepper, rosemary, and honey if you prefer. And you have to blend it until smooth, and you can actually have it every day to improve your immune. This is one way of how you can improve your immune health. So thank you. I hope you got some information about how to stay healthy, eat healthy during this COVID time. Feel free to email me if you have any questions about this. Thank you so much.